Slowed that down a little bit. And then I started doing taxes on the side. That was a side hustle for me. And I treated it like a side hustle for like the first 2 years. It's terrible. For the first 2 years.
Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови
Pimped Out Radio Show, man, they everywhere.
Благослови моих братьев. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови моих братьев. Благослови моих братьев. Я скрутил себе потолще, я выдыхаю.
The best jam I have ever eaten.
Oh, wow.
I have that as a testimonial.
И не играй со мной свою роль. Со мной молодые братья. Мы возьмем котлеты наличных себе на завтра. Сегодня-завтра, неважно как я. You, эй, yeah. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки, мы в поисках.
Alright, y'all, we're tuning in for another episode of Big Dad Radio Show. I'm your host, Andreas, and I'm here on location here on the east side.
Yes.
With Erica Barber, who has a multitude of businesses. They do a multitude of things as well. So we have Barber's Tax and Credit Repair. And then I just forgot the pronunciation of the other one.
So the other one is Raji Slay and Lay.
Raji Slay and Lay. I said that right?
Yes, you
did.
did.
So y'all can see all the B-roll footage and all that stuff as we're talking and things of that nature. But let's see here. So you have the two businesses. Then you also do your own podcast.
Yes.
What's the name of that?
That's E's World, Real Talk for Real Life.
Okay. And then you also sing.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think. I want to say there's something else. Is there something else that you do that I don't know about yet?
Yes. So I have a all natural remedy line. I make a little bundle of natural remedies. So I make a vagina rejuvenation.
All right. So second take. Well, at least I got some bloopers,
Right.
That'll be fun. All right. So you're a woman of many talents. You have multiple businesses, the podcast. You was doing hair, natural products.
It's everything. I do a little bit of everything, and I always get the question of, what don't you do? And I have no idea. I'm constantly learning, constantly evolving, and I love that about myself. But getting into entrepreneurship was ideal because of being a single mother in a household with, at the time, 4 kids. Not being home and not being active was like bothering me. It wasn't made me feel like I was a bad mom, but it made me feel like I was not a present parent.
Yeah.
So I decided to venture onto entrepreneurship, and it started out with E-Baby the China Doll, the model, Video Vixen, and that was good work, but it still required for me to be away from the kids a lot. So I was like, okay, let me slow it down. Started hosting. That required a little less of my time, but at night I wasn't there. So obviously that was a problem for me. Slowed that down a little bit, and then I started doing taxes on the side. That was a side hustle for me. And I treated it like a side hustle for like the first 2 years. It's terrible. For the first 2 years, I treated taxes like a side hustle.
I like the fact that you're honest though.
It was. It was like
honest
for
about
me,
your approach to it, but then it becomes like, so I guess, is it your main source of revenue right now, or? To
be honest, I can't even say which one is the main source because all of them kind of equal out. When one slow down, the other one picks up, and it picks up in the midst of where you don't even realize that the other one has slowed down. So I can't even say which one is the main income because they all kind of support each other. And I remember at one point I was all over the place with everything that I did, and I was like, look here now, we gotta find some type of structure. We can't be like, we can be multiple, like we can multiply, but we gotta make it fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I took the time to just find my areas that fit. Now, when I started doing Raji's Lay, it was born April 1st. So I started doing that. Great month. Great month. When I started the business on April the 1st, everybody apparently thought I was joking because it was April Fool's. So For me, it was getting into more of a healthier way to lose stubborn fats. Like I'm a mother that has had my children natural, so I had that natural baby fat. Like everybody felt like I was thick, like oh she fine, but it was heavy. To me, it was hot and heavy. So I was like, let me find something that's effective, that doesn't require downtime, that doesn't require scarring. Because my biggest fear is being under the knife and not waking up. Everybody tells that story about going to get their body done, but we do not talk about the people that don't come back, or we have no idea where they are because they secretly went and got their body done and something happened. Yeah. So I'm always pro, more natural than to just be cut on, because that's to save your life, not to. But as I got into it, and I really started branding it, I was like, you know what, it fits perfectly into eBaby. eBaby is a walking brand. So why not do these on myself to be a walking billboard for this business? And it fits into changing the body and image of eBaby. Okay, so that's how we got those two in the same category together. And the natural remedies line, it was my son. My son has severe acne, and I was like, nothing is working. And I always make natural remedies when it comes to their healing or anything like that. I'm not going to the doctor and get antibiotics. If we can find a natural way to go ahead and get rid of this, let's do it. So I created the acne and discoloration mask for him. And it actually started working. And I was like, okay, I got some green hands. Let's see what else we can make. And then at one point, my household was just like indescribable. I don't know what was going on, but the kids' energy was off. It was just a mix of everything. So I did a spiritual cleansing in the house, and I made this spiritual bath salt for me and the kids. And I seen how it subsided the household and them, and I was like, okay. Then I had a couple of friends that I deal with. We're going through little tedious things in their life. I was like, try this bath salt. And I got great reviews behind it. The same way with the oil. I made the oil to eliminate the friction, that little dry patch that we go through when we getting it in. And I was like, you know what? I made it when I was dealing with a little friend, and I made the oil, and then I left him alone the day after. It was February the 14th.
You said out of the day, so you left him alone February 13th or 14th?
I left him alone. I created the oil. Facts. Okay, that's just facts. I did. I'm not even gonna sit here and cap. I did. So I made the oil on the 13th. We used it on the 14th. That next morning I was out.
Oh, okay. No more for you.
That's it. I wanted to see if it worked.
It's just my test dummy for the day.
That's how I felt. I was like, you know what? I was feeling you, but then when you start, because I'm a spiritual being, when you start interlocking with people and you're making things like that, it brings out if you really need to be around them. It starts showing their true intention. So when I was doing the oils, and I was explaining to him, like, you were my inspiration behind the oil, and he was like, I was like, okay, see, now you're being weird. Yeah. What I meant by the inspiration behind the oil is, if we weren't how we were, I would have never thought to make this oil, because I ain't never had this issue of this little friction we got going on. So I made the oil for us, but he was on the streets. He was for the streets, so I had to let him be for the streets.
Let him go.
Had to let him go.
Okay, so I got a question. Are you making native?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are you making native east side or?
You know what? I really don't know. You see, my dad's family is on this side of town. Okay. My mom, they're in West Macon, so. Okay.
But you're making native though.
I'm a making native though.
So, in my experience, because I'm a transplant, right? Now people think I'm from here because I do so much and everything or whatever, but I'm not from Macon, but I do claim Macon though. Like, I'm not one of the people who won't ever claim Macon. I don't even claim Nashville anymore. That's how, no, for real. That's how it is, because that's how I feel with Macon and the Middle Georgia area has this huge potential for a lot of different things, and I've been seeing it over the years and decades, and I've been telling folks, you can do a lot here.
A lot.
So, in my experience in talking with a lot of Macon natives, sometimes they get caught up in their own bubble of stuff.
Of course.
And you bust that bubble by doing all these different things, right?
Yes.
How was that, going through that transition of that? Because I can imagine the people that you grew up around with that know you from like high school and all that stuff, whatever, middle school, whatever the case may be, might have looked at you like a little sideways from all the different things that you're doing and the information that you're putting out there.
Oh, first of all, a lot of people don't even think I'm from Macon. That's the crazy part.
Why is that?
I don't know why. I'm always been told you gotta be from up north.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when the dialect and stuff.
I'm guessing so. And when I get a little angry, I have a little bit of an accent. So depending on what I'm talking about or what's going on, that accent may extend. Not really sure. I don't hear it, but they do. So, but yeah, the people around me that I grew up with, I can honestly say they do look a little sideways, like, you know, how you get to, and you know, what made you feel like you could do this. The person that pulled this out of me, bless his soul, my brother D'Angelo, I was just taking, like I said, I started out just taking pictures. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. I came from a domestic violence situation, and
so
I reinvented myself. Yeah. And I went through that for like 5 years, and to come off and up under that. So I took 7 years to just figure myself out, figure out what I wanted to do. eBaby was born. The other business started coming about, and it was just like, you know what? Regardless of what people have had to say or what they envision your life to go, you can be bigger than Macon. I see myself bigger than Georgia, bigger than the United States. And because I have that mindset, I was able to expand and reach out to different people past the Middle Georgia area. But I'm always trying to reach the Middle Georgia area, reach my hometown, because I want them to understand that, hey, I'm not selfish with the knowledge. You just got to come talk to me. It's not like I know I look stuck up. I get it. I look like
I've never gotten that vibe from you though.
I know, but I
like
hear
I
this
bump into
so
you in like
much.
different things or whatever, and you know it's a conversation. Like this is the first time we got to sit down and have like a full conversation.
Right.
But I've never gotten that vibe from you or whatever. Now, I understand why they say it though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, you're curvaceous and all that stuff, or whatever. You look good aesthetically and all that. You know what I'm saying? You're eye pleasing or whatever.
Right.
But that's just people's own insecurities.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not gonna put myself in a bubble because of your insecurities. I'm here to make you comfortable. And I know that sometimes, I'm gonna say sometimes, I'm very intimidating. My personality, the way that I come off, my approach sometimes can be intimidating because I've been in this business so long as an entrepreneur, and as a woman being an entrepreneur, you can't let anybody play with you.
No, I definitely get that, and then especially being a black woman too.
Yes.
'Cause actually, that's like one of my questions I ask a lot of y'all when I interview y'all as a group. Like, what is your experience, and do you feel that you have to work twice as hard as your counterparts, or even just twice as hard as males?
I don't feel like I have to work twice as much because I feel like I'm an equal.
Okay.
I feel like I can do exactly what you do. The crazy part is, my entrepreneurship did not start with just what you see now. I had a moving company, and I was moving people's houses myself.
You picking up furniture yourself?
Yes, I was picking up furniture, washers, and dryers, putting them in the truck. No, just clean that up, bag it up. I'm gonna put it in the car for you. And then I used to fix cars. I was a mechanic for a while, and that started off because I got tired of waiting on somebody to fix my car. So I started fixing little cars on the side. So my entrepreneurship started like way off and just doing little tedious things for myself because I am impatient. I am not ashamed to admit it. If I can get it done, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It's not to say I can't wait for a man or I don't need a man, because I do. I'm tired. Help. But needless to say, it's just I just like to do it myself. I'm really hands-on. I love working with my hands. So being able to teach people what I can do, or if they're trying to do something that's close to me or close to anything I do, because people always feel like, oh, copying somebody. There are so many people in this world that are doing the exact same thing, but it's their product, it's their quality, and it's their effort. The same way as it's your quality, your brand, and your effort into whatever it is that you're doing. No matter what it is I've done, right down to the calendars. When I first started making the calendars, I got all the little sideways, little funny girl. I went to school with her, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you didn't go to school with this, okay? You didn't go to school with this.
I'm flooded. You didn't go to school.
You didn't go to school with this, okay? You went to school with quiet, in the corner Erica, not dealing with nobody Erica. That's who you went to school with.
That's how you were in school?
Yes, I was very quiet.
Well, I got this thing where, I think some people peak in high school and they never like really get that back. And then people peak afterwards into like, real adulthood or whatever. And you forever have a longer like staying power. And I think that's what some people be getting jealous of, because they were like way more popular in high school or whatever. But I'm like, I'm like your teenagers or whatever, and you're like finding yourself or trying to.
Ooh, I was definitely a square in school. gonna keep it a buck, baby. I was a square, okay? I was a nerd. I had the highest GPA in math in Bibb County. I was actually big pregnant when I walked across the stage to receive that certificate, and was mad like, what you mean? I got the highest GPA in math, so can't nobody else in here do math. But it was shocking for me. But I've always been ahead of my class, even when I was in elementary school. Right now, when I was attending Ingram Pie, that was the first time I realized I was smart, because the school was like, she's too advanced. We want to send her somewhere else to go to school. We'll provide the transportation. We'll do everything because we just feel like she's going to be at a halt here. So they offered for me to go to another school, but we ended up moving to Atlanta right before we could do the whole process, and I still ended up getting a good education up there. I actually learned a little French. I don't remember much, but I do remember the Pledge of Allegiance.
In French?
In French, yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I took 2 years of French in high school. The only thing I can remember is Je m'appelle. Yeah, and it too is that French, yeah. But anyway, and then like I remember that in French, like pronouns or whatever, it's a him and hers type. It's like elle and li. I can't remember. Yeah, something like that. I thought it was just a cool language to take or whatever.
It was.
But that was like years ago.
Oh my God! I still, when guys be like speak French, I say the Pledge of Allegiance. They be like, ooh, that sounds fancy.
Hey, you know what?
And I'd be like, a juice a liver potus.
Record yourself. Eh?
Whatever make you feel good.
Just sell the
and he like, what did you say? I'm here for you.
So are you the first one in your family to be full-time entrepreneur and all that, or
to be
inspiration?
As far as my knowledge, yes. On my mom's side, my mom has 5 kids. I'm the oldest of her 5. Okay. So all of my siblings are like familyed up. Meanwhile, there's me, centerfold, bend over, taking pictures.
So how was that from a family dynamic? Did they encourage you? Did they was like, hey, I think you need to be a little bit more conservative?
Oh my God, yes. It was, what are you doing? You have kids, Anna. What are you doing? What will people think? I don't care what they think. Yeah. I've been so much in a bubble. When I say I was a square in high school, I was so in a bubble of what people thought, how people would perceive me. Their perception of me mattered when I was in school. Okay. And the first chain I broke once I became a mom was, I don't care. I don't care what you think. Your opinion is your opinion. I appreciate it. I'm going to wipe it with tissue, okay? I don't care. It is what it is. But once I broke that chain, no matter what anybody else had to say or their outlook on what I was doing, it's not your vision. You're not supposed to understand what I'm doing. Yeah. Either you're going to support me or you're not going to support me. Now, I have had my family's support in certain aspects. Now, when it came to this modeling stuff and, doing the centerfold work or the video vixen work, they were just like everybody else. Oh, she just done and she's a rat. Nobody has time for that. But when it came down to my tax business, supportive. Tax and credit repair, boom. I did my first fashion show. My mom was there. I was excited about that because that was the first time my mom had really been active in anything that I've done. But I would say as far as like my non-surgical business or the oils or anything like that, I haven't had too much family support. Like I love my family. It is family. No shade. No shade, but it's just when you have to realize that when you get to a certain point and you want everybody to be there, you want everybody to celebrate you, don't necessarily mean they want to. You can't expect for the people that you expect to be there. No,
I definitely get that. As a fellow entrepreneur, and shoot, I guess I'm professionally on record. I've been an entrepreneur since 2005. That was part-time, then transitioned full-time in 2013, and ain't looked back since. And then, like you, multiple businesses and all that stuff, whatever. And you get and on this journey, I see that where, strangers support quicker. Yes. Because there's no biases there, right? Yeah. Because family, as good as they are,
they feel like they know you.
Yeah. And they put you in a box. Yeah. And
you're only capable of this.
Your time stone or capsule or whatever within that box, and anything outside of that, it doesn't register with them.
Because what are you doing?
Exactly. But to a stranger, you're a blank slate. So you get to paint, you know what I'm saying?
You get to paint whatever picture you want and allow them to see whatever image it is that you need for them to see. I don't want them to see high school Erica. I don't want them to see Erica before her kids, because Erica before her kids, my God, I have no idea who she is now. She cared about nothing, people, nothing but herself. Mom Erica put life into perspective, put things into order, and created a cycle to break the cycle. I didn't want my children to experience the childhood I experienced. I don't want them to feel like you're limited to this. So that's why I went so hard to be an entrepreneur, to show them, hey, you know, working a 9 to 5 is for most, not for all. Definitely was not for me. I envisioned every job I've had. Crazy part, dreamed about it before I got the job. And then when I have a deja vu moment at the job, I was like, you know what? I'm here, but my dream's taking me elsewhere. So when I was finally able to stop working, I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in like 10, 11 years.
Congratulations.
Thank Jesus. Let me tell you something. I feel like I already have a low cut. I would be completely bald if I worked for somebody else.
Well, now I get it, because we're built differently, right? I say entrepreneurs are built differently. The way that we see the world and all that stuff or whatever. And
Absolutely.
even like, you know what I'm saying, like talking to people, I'm sure you talk more people into doing something than you try to talk them out of it.
Yes.
But I get it though. 9 to 5s have their purpose and their place or whatever, but for entrepreneurs who have these visions that other people can't really attach to, because like you said, it's their vision. You know, we just built different, we go harder or whatever, and like our 9 to 5 is like, you know, 12 hours or whatever, but being able to fluctuate between that and having the flexibility to do this and that, and then putting, you know, structures in place.
Exactly, and being able to put whatever you need to put on hold to focus on what you need to focus on. Because when you work 9 to 5, they don't care nothing about your kids being asleep. They don't care nothing about what you got to do before you get off. They don't give you one day off. You better do every 368 things you got to do in those 24 hours before you come back and clock in on 8 o'clock.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to hear nothing else. And that's something I can do. Realistically, as a mother, because I'm a mother of 5 now, that was not realistic.
I still got you beat.
Look, if my kids, you got me beat. Thank you. Because finally, my brother had 13. Not trying to get there.
I ain't got him beat. I got 8. From a 20-year-old all the way down to a 6.
Whew, mine started from 18 to 4. So when I tell people I have an 18-year-old, they be like, you have an 18-year-old? You like your 20-something? Thank you, sweetheart.
Like, take the compliment.
Thank you. Because you need to see my ID. Definitely a hot 10 to 30-something.
So how have you handled, you know, just being an entrepreneur and in all the facets of things and holding yourself accountable to be able to, you know, get things going? Because, you know, when you first start out, you're putting more capital into your vision than what's coming in. Absolutely.
Finding that structure was a little help of everybody that like me. Thank y'all. Okay. Because people that like you love to invest in you. And not just liking you in the sense of just liking you for your appearance, but your personality, your energy, and your drive. I had a lot of people that stood behind my vision and did a lot of pro bono work for me just to help my visions come alive. Or just if they have something going on or hear somebody needs something, they would recommend me. So that kind of helped me from putting too much out there in my pocket, but also helped me gain that experience. And I've done so much over the years, I can't even remember half of the people I've worked with. So when I do magazine features or I'm doing an interview and they're like, list some of the people you work with. Oh.
Yeah.
I wish you would have asked me this before, because then I could have went and started doing my own research.
Because there's like,
I've been in the game for
I'm guilty of that as far as interviewing folks and coming in contact. There's people I meet that bump into me that they be like, man, we talked about it. I was like, when did we talk? You know, I've talked to, on average, at least 15, 20 new people a month.
Yes.
So if you multiply that over the years, it's like, if I met you one time, yes, I might have made some type of impression on you, but with it being my brain database or whatever, I can't recall every single conversation anymore, or even interactions.
I get that a lot, because it'd be like, oh, you don't remember me? And I'd be like, hi. You know, years ago, I used to be like, nah, you know, but then I was like, you know what, Erica, don't be like that, because these people remember you. And it's because you left an impact. Now, they may have spoken to you, like you said. You got that one experience of trying to talking about something or talking about business. And especially with what I do, as far as anything I do with business-wise, I'm constantly saying the same thing. So I probably said this to you about 5 or 6 other people in this day's time. So it's not that I don't remember you per se. It's just that you didn't follow up. So I really can't say I remember you or what we talked about. So when people call me and I be like, I just say, yeah, you know, freshman memory.
You know, the people have to understand it's like, you know, you're climbing the ladder of, I guess, social status or whatever the case may be. The more you do and the bigger your dreams are, the less people at that particular top or whatever, because everybody else is not, you know what I'm saying, tasting that magnitude of something.
Yeah.
So it's easy to have a lot of people that, you know, see what you do and all that stuff and come in contact with you. But I'm like, you keep in like, you know, it's like people falling off a ladder or whatever, or a tree or whatever, however you, or
however you kind of shade off or whatever it is. But it's not to say that we don't mix. It's just that we don't have a level of consistency to keep climbing and for you to stay attached, for me to know who you are, what it is that you do. Because I'm constantly being approached by different people every day. Last night, for example, at karaoke, a guy walked up to me, "You're that calendar girl." I just stood there and said, "Yep, I am." Because if that's how you remember me, then that's how you remember me.
Did he buy a calendar?
He's supposed to come by once a day. He's supposed to come by once a day. I'm like, okay, I gotta, you know, and I have a few orders I gotta mail out. And the crazy part is my fan base, a lot of people think that my fan base is in making. I would say my fan base is semi-making. And that's only because, like you said, people that grow up with you feel like what makes you so special, what makes you so different. So I have people that support me but don't support me, and I'm okay with that. I don't even get upset. And then I have the people I have never met in my life go the hardest for me and are constantly referring and sending people to me. So when it comes down to me interacting with people, I just interact with them the same, because I have people all the way, my fan base is all the way into Chicago. It's out of state.
Well, I saw that, you know, your page just on Facebook alone, like, you know, what, 17,000 followers?
Yes.
So, and I know that's organic, and because, you know, I can tell when it's not. I've seen the click bars and all that or whatever. But I've also, you know, like I said, what you do on your podcast, and I think that's actually how I came across you.
Yes, the podcast actually reached all the way to Afghanistan. I had fans in Nigeria, and when I was seeing that, and I was like looking at my ratings and looking how far I was going, I was like, girl, you global. Look at you. And that has been my mindset, is that I want to be global. Whether it's E-Baby, Barber Saxon Credit Repair, Garden of Ease Natural Remedy, Raji's Slaying Lake. I don't care which one it is. I just want to be known for something. I want to leave an impact. I've even gone as far as like, hey, you can do exactly what I'm doing. I'll give you the recipe. I'll help you create your line. I've gotten to the point where I've stopped outsourcing. One thing about being an entrepreneur, when you outsource, that's where we spend the most money.
Yeah, we do.
When we do everything in-house, making flyers, making business cards, creating marketing material, that's where we kind of start winning. I believe that if I would have stopped outsourcing when I first started, I would be so much further as far as pocket-wise.
Well, okay, so I get that, but, you know, my counter to that, though, is when you do outsource, you get your time back. So you got to, like, because, like, I don't make any of my flyers, right? I just pay. I got Shamika. She's been doing my flyers for 4 or 5 years now. Every time I need a new one, send her all that stuff. I'm not finna, and then it's not my passion either. So I'm not finna waste my time learning, getting software, all that stuff, whatever, how to do flyers, whatever. I'd rather just pay somebody else to do that now. When it comes to like creative videos and all that stuff, since I had to learn how to do videography work or whatever, it's just a natural fit for me. And just, you know, I like to stay in my lane because it helps me scale. Yes. Like you will run into the situation, because I imagine, like, you know, like staff and everything. It's just you. It's
just me.
Okay, so yeah, so when you want to like get to that, you know, get past your plateau. Yes. You got to start investing in people.
And I don't mind, because see, this year I hired somebody to actually help run the front desk, and I actually offered her a independent contractor working under Raji's Slaying Lake for her to build her own clientele and to turn herself into her own brand as well. But I had to stop outsourcing because people, I don't know what it is about me. It's like I get to inquiring on business, and it's not just men that do this to me, women too. It'll be like, oh yeah, no problem, helping you. And then it's like, so when can I take you out to dinner? And I'm like, can you please just make this? Can you make this first? And then we can talk about
so let's build your business a different way.
Yes.
Let's go through interns.
Yes.
And I'll give you the information of like getting all that, whatever, because with your LLCs and you having a physical location, that's ideal for them, especially with business and all the stuff that you got going on or whatever. So build your infrastructure through your internship workforce or whatever. That way they can do all the tedious stuff, so like make the flyers and all that or whatever, and get that experience. So that way you can focus on landing the bigger contracts or clients or however you want to push your business.
And to be honest, that is exactly the structure I was going with. Since I've gotten this location, I was like, I got to figure this out because I know there are other people that need this experience, and I can teach them, and it's not a problem. But it'll also help me in my business, teaching them the things that they need to know in order to the structure of running the business, basically. And people be like, what does running the front desk have to do with running the business? If you can't successfully run a location or a front desk, you can't really run a business.
I'm like, well, the front desk is you're the gatekeeper of everything.
Yes.
So you get to disseminate that information. If you disseminate it the wrong way, it affects the business.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people don't realize that. Like people who are secretaries, assistants, and all that stuff, they're actually powerful people within the business or whatever. Because even these big, huge companies or whatever, the CEO has their executive assistant. That executive assistant puts everything on their calendar. So if you piss them off, whatever, you won't get on that calendar. That person, the CEO, will never know anything about it, whatever, and won't ask either because they're so caught up with so much stuff they have to do anyway, and it's not even going to matter to them. So I'm like, they play vital roles, and people should realize that. So which passion dictates how further along your business will go, and then the fact that like when I was sitting there getting the B-roll footage, I saw your OSHA and all that or whatever. I know what that is.
Yes.
But I go to other establishments, I don't see they getting OSHA certified and stuff or whatever, and don't have all their stuff displayed on the walls like they should, or even go through the process of all those or whatever. So you could tell that they're not really passionate. And me as a consumer, I will go with the person who is passionate over anybody's name recognition and all that stuff because I know I'm going to get some extra benefits.
I'm gonna get the quality of service and the benefits that come behind passion. It's just like it's unduplicated, like you said. Everything I do with every business I do is passionate. I love what I do. So this doesn't work for me. What's worked for me is when I have to do everything by myself. Yeah. And I don't have that help. But when I'm out and I'm advertising, and I'm not even more so advertising, somebody get talking to me like, oh yeah, you do business startup. And I'm like, yeah, such my package is that and third. And like, oh yeah, and the body. So then I boom, naturally go from business talking to going to the body. Now we're talking about the oils. Whatever it is that I can help, I'm gonna advertise it. And people like you speak with so much excitement and so much joy behind it. I'm like, cause I'm excited to do this.
Exactly.
I'm excited to do this. I can't wait to see your journey as well. Like for me, it was like, baby, no downtime. I can go right back to working. I miss my money. I like money. I don't like to miss money. So
a lot of things in common, I can tell.
Hey, and I always get that when are you free? I'm always working. Even if we hanging out, guess what I'm doing? On the phone. Putting that phone down, picking up another. I'm always working. So I'm going to be honest. I think that's why I'm still single. Because men, how can you say men? I don't think anybody can handle how passionate I am behind my businesses.
But they have to understand or whatever that you have your goals and stuff, and you have to solidify what you want to solidify first before you can, because time is the most valuable commodity. Yes. Because you can make money, you can lose money, you can make it again. But that time, if you put time into somebody and it ends up being something that you didn't, it didn't turn out right or whatever, I'm like, you could have put that time into something that you already have.
Oh my, that is why I left the guy alone on the 15th. Yeah. Cause it was like, boom, I was good. It was good until when I started making this oil, like I said, then when the money started coming into play where this can actually be something, it's like, I put all this time into dealing with you, and I came out on top with a nice little breadwinner. And it wasn't a complete waste of time, but I could put this energy now into this now.
Yep. No, I definitely get that. So, singing, is that a hobby for you?
Singing is definitely a hobby for me.
Okay. So
now, I've always been a shy singer, and my brother used to run Soulful Sundays at recess on Sundays. And I used to go, and the first time I sung, I was a little nervous. And he was like, he took me outside. He was like, you are a barber. You get your ass in here, you sing. And I was like, but he was like, no, but you got this. Look at me and sing. So the first song I sung was Dangerously in Love, and it was with a live band.
Oh, wow.
And I killed it. Okay. I just looked at him, and he just like, and he was... I was like, okay, Still singing. And then I got all of these compliments, and I was like, me singing? So then when he died in 16, it kind of took a damper on me. I took a step back. I stopped singing. I recently got back into singing, I want to say about a year ago. And it was more so for healing for me.
Okay.
It was more so, okay, I feel his presence. I feel it when I'm amongst my people. And I didn't realize when I was going to Serenity how many people actually knew my brother and was just taking to me based off of that. And it was like, I've heard of you all the time, but I never knew it was you that was his sister. I saw your name on his wrist. I've heard everything about you, but never actually got to meet you. So with all of the love I was getting, I started back doing karaoke. And then I started singing for real. And then I stopped caring because I was coming in there on the wine already.
Okay, I understand.
Get the red wine in before I get there. Like, you know what, we got this. Woo. Get in here. So now it's like a thing. Now when I come in, I got my little thing I say when I get on the mic. The more we drink, the better we sound. So now it's just like a whole little, I would say, commodity when I come in. Because everybody's like, hey, baby. And I'm like, what's up?
So
but I actually love it.
What do you think that's gonna go, or what do you want to happen for that? Do you want it to stay like a hobby, or do you want to actually like put stuff out there and see how?
I've never been a songwriter. Now I can do a lot of cover work. That's not a problem. I actually was offered to open up for Silk on I think the 18th or something like that. And I haven't heard from them yet, so I'm a little nervous about that. But if they hit me up to sing, I'm going to sing, okay? Because I said I was going to turn it down due to just being afraid of doing it. But what I realized, my fear behind doing the things I've done has brought out so much more greater results and reward behind it. With me being an entrepreneur, I was scared to do that. And I've damn near mastered it.
Yeah.
So, and for me, it's like, okay, if someone asks for me to do a feature, I'll do it. Get somebody to sing it so I can catch the melody, because you put the words in front of me, I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them and not sing them. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to read them and not sing them. But if I hear the melody, the tune, the way the song is supposed to go, how it's supposed to fit, boom, you got me. I'm more of a see it and hear it, and I got it.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, you want one of those, but me actually doing an album, I haven't thought about that.
I think it'd be just creatively. It should you should get, once you go through that process, you should get something out of it, regardless of like putting stuff out, and don't look at the monetary value of stuff. Just like go through the process. And
I would love to go through the process to see what I do, because I'm working on my affirmation album, and that's just more so of me speaking. But I would love to go through the process of being a singer. I have friends that are singers. I have friends that are rappers. So and I've been in their videos or been in the back of the scene doing their makeup. So I've kind of seen how the process go, but to actually full walk on through it, I haven't been through that part yet. So
I think
I'm
you enjoy
excited.
it, and it might push you to do even if what I'm saying, you release something every now and then or whatever. But just to have something and to be able to say at this particular point in time, I was able to capture this energy and what I was going through and all that stuff, and it's like time stamped to where you put it out and all that or whatever, and it could always like go back and do stuff. So like I've been doing music for a long time now.
Like how long?
Like a long time since that was my first company, Bank That Entertainment, 2005. I was doing music promotions, and then went to record label, and then of course now podcast and radio show and all that stuff or whatever. But still, dealing with music, and put out like 5 projects. And my very first project that I put out, a song on there is still being streamed. It just started being streamed recently, the last 6 to 9 months. And every time I get my ASCAP notification, where you get your printout and all that stuff, it's like 2,000-3,000 spins a quarter that it's catching. And I did nothing to promote this song. So the fact that music lives in its own way in the universe or whatever, and that it said a lot to me. And the fact also I got my first Sound Exchange check from that album, and a lot of stuff came from the album, even though at the time the album wasn't it wasn't like commercially from a commercial standpoint monetized or whatever, made that money. but it opened up other opportunities and stuff like that for
Absolutely.
me. So it was like the birth of something else. And to sit there and still be able to reap rewards now off of it and not doing anything from it.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
like,
That's that passive income.
yeah.
We love a passive, and that's where I'm trying to get a passive income. Whenever I start a business, even when I started out eBaby, I never looked at what I could make. I always looked at putting in the work, putting in the time, the energy, and the effort. That was just key with any business. I never look at the revenue. What I look for when I start my business is, can it take care of itself?
Yeah.
Can it sustain the supplies or whatever it is that it needs, so that way I can continue to supply the demand. But if it's to the point where I'm spending more out of pocket now, I'll let it take a step back and focus on something that's taking care of itself first. Like my clothing line. I have a clothing line. I do a fashion show.
You need to tell me that. See, look at the all this stuff. But didn't you write a book too?
I did. I have 2 ebooks. I have a makeup. I have a all natural glam makeup book ebook that's on Amazon. And that one started out when I started doing Raji's Landlady.
Okay.
I wanted to do like one-on-one makeup class, and I was like, I gotta write a makeup manual. And then I was like, I'm gonna release it to an ebook. And I was like, okay. Now my second ebook, that is my affirmations ebook. That one started out with me just saying, getting up in the morning, I have certain affirmations that I say to myself. And it could be pertaining to my life, or it could just be something I feel like I need to hear. And I started randomly sending out text messages of the very affirmations I was saying to myself. And one of the young ladies I was sitting there to, she was like, you know what, I really appreciate you sending me these. What made you start doing that? I was like, you know what, I was saying them to myself. And then it just put in my soul, send them to these people. So I sent them. She was like, you should write a book. I was like, I wasn't thinking that far into a book. I was thinking like, I just feel like I want to be what I felt like other people were missing. First of all, let's start with the fact that I needed to be what I was looking for to myself. And I was like, well, then why not be that to others? Instead of waiting for something or someone to be what it is that you need, just be that. So I started doing that, and with her encouraging words, I wrote an ebook. So I took all the affirmations I had been sending over the last few months, wrote those down, and continued to take the affirmations that I was making for myself every day and put them down. And I want to say I had been writing the affirmations since June or July of last year. And I wrote affirmations all up until the 31st of December. And I released the book January the 1st.
That's what's up. Yes. And it was well received and all that.
Yes, I got so many, such good feedback on it. And they was like, what made you do it? I was like, literally just life. Life just be lifing.
Life be life. And like that.
I felt like I needed it, and I felt like, why not give it to the world? I didn't. And folks like, you should charge more. I'm not looking for the revenue. Yeah, that's not the focus. You just want to make an impact. I want to make an impact. I want, when you hear Erica Barber, you're not just going to hear the bull of what other people think of me. You're going to hear my brands. You're going to hear my business. I turned Erica Barber into a brand, not even thinking about it. And I would say that's my 5th brand. Out of everything I do, Erica Barber turned into a brand by itself. And for me, it was like, how did I get here? And I didn't realize this until yesterday that I turned Erica Barber into a brand. Because I had people that were inquiring on me and saying certain things about me, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, what in the world? But like I said, when people would mention me, they was like, oh no, Erica Barber, she does business and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm so used to hearing eBaby. I hear eBaby so much, and I'm like, oh, so Erica Barber has a name now, huh? Okay.
You put a lot of work into it, and when you push it out there, and like you're building every day or whatever, so you're growing. So then you don't get to like really see that because you're in a daily grind of it.
Yes.
But then you get results like that, and these epiphanies or this information comes to you. So then you can sit there and like self-actualize, like, oh, okay, I put in this much amount of work to there. Now people see the brand.
See, like I said, my focus was not the revenue. It was not the profit. It was literally just building that brand, building that trust with the consumers, for them to understand that, one, you're going to get what you pay for, whether you pay for it or not. If you inquire on my services, you're going to get the quality of service that you want. Those were my key goals. Supplying the demand. making sure that the consumer knows who I am.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to me. You can inquire on my services. I've had it happen all the time. People inquire on my services and go somewhere else. As long as you get it done. That's all that matters. If I can't do it, I'm going to recommend you to somebody else anyway. So I don't even get upset. I watch a lot of entrepreneurs get upset. And I watch a lot of entrepreneurs get on Facebook and address certain things with their consumers. And I'm like, that hurts you in the long run. Because some things you, as a business owner, we got to take that L and just keep it going.
Yeah, we have, I was having this conversation yesterday with my assistant, and I was like that as a business owner, we're held to a higher standard of integrity than just a regular consumer. So regardless of how it comes across, the transaction or not transaction, we're still held to that higher standard.
Yeah.
And we have to function in that capacity to do so. And when we don't know whatever, it really hurts. And like you said, in the long run, you'll, like, negativity spreads 10 times faster than positivity.
Yeah, because negative is like, it's just magnetic. And you would think that positivity is just as magnetic. It takes so much more work to get people to be positive than it does for them to be negative, because it's like negative just naturally feeds, and it's just gimme. And then it's me being positive on the other end, like, hey, let's not, we don't have to do that. I've had to cut so many ties with people because, not because they're bad people, I got tired of hearing the negative. I want to talk about something positive. What are you doing differently? I don't care about what Shaniqua them are doing, because I don't even know who Shaniqua them is. Right? I want to know what you're doing with your life, what it is that you want to do with your brand. How can I help you? That's my approach now when people come to me. What can I do for you? I like a little tea every now and then, but I don't want to hear it all the time.
Yeah, we don't get obsessed with it. It's just for like entertainment purposes, when we want to decompress and all that or whatever, and then get back to it. But yeah, we covered a lot. Did we miss anything?
Let me see, because I don't think we missed anything.
I can have conversations with entrepreneurs like yourself like all day, because I get it. And I'm like, and then you have the span of experience, like the decade-long experience or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, that's a lot to unpack and all that. But for the audience and stuff like that, let them know how they can go support. Where do you want to direct them to and all that stuff.
Okay, so first of all, I want to direct y'all to the location. Let's get that first. I am a new location located right here in East Macon, 1765 Sherling Drive. I am right next to the public library. I have Barber's Tax and Credit Repair in this location, and I also have Raji's Slaying. Very affordable, non-surgical body services and beauty bar, because I do makeup as well, and you can follow me on Facebook at Erica Ashe Barber. All of my links are usually there. For my eBaby fans, it's eBaby the China Doll, and it's ebabythechinadoll.com for booking the services, because I know I'll be hearing that a lot. Like, how do you keep them separate? They're on different websites. Yeah, exactly. And people always are asking me, how do you keep them separate? That's how I keep them separate. Every link describes what I do, right down to the natural oils. There's a website, Garden of Ease Natural Remedies. We gonna try to make sure we can get those links in there. We're gonna get them in there. But everything is pretty much on my page. So just follow me on Erica Ashe Barber on Facebook. And you would think I'm on Instagram like that, but I'm not. I can't figure it out. Instagram.
Are you on Instagram?
I am.
But you don't utilize the platform.
I don't.
Yeah, I only post like snippets and stuff on my Instagram. Now I got like, oh my God, I handle like 20-something social media pages.
See, that's what I need. Yeah. I need somebody that can handle the social media page, like eBaby the China Doll. I'm not even paying attention to it.
Yeah, I'll be doing all that stuff, whatever. I'll share in a minute. But y'all continue to support and keep watching these episodes and stuff like that. If you have not, go ahead and download that Bang That Radio Show app and look forward to all the new content and forward to other interviews that we bring to y'all.
Alrighty. Make sure y'all check me out now. My hair may change, but I'm still the same.
I love it. Oh, yeah.
Благай слави моих братьев, благай слави наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благай слави
Radio Show, man, they everywhere.